Ladies and gentlemen, on to our second debate tonight. This afternoon, Mr. Rahul Gandhi came out and attacked the centre over the farmer protests. In fact, claimed that the centre's apathy had claimed over 60 farmers' lives and the government was indulging in brutality just to promote crony-capitalist business interests. This, despite the fact that there are provisions in the new laws to safeguard the farmers' interests, which is something the government is trying to convince the farmers about. But even as the centre is trying to reach out and find a middle ground, such comments by the opposition continue. Remember, over 1,500 mobile towers in Punjab have been damaged during the agitation. But despite this, the opposition seems to be continuously instigating the protesters. So the legitimate question on the news hour tonight is Rahul Gandhi right in linking farmer protests to crony capitalism? That's the question and the debate.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining Nupur Sharma on the debate is Suhel Seth. He's a columnist and ad guru, in fact, and also Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, I want to ask you, ye roz subah utke, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has only one pet hate, which is Adani Ambani. Adani Ambani. Have you read the statement that's been put out by both the Adanis and the Ambanis? The Reliance statement says they're not interested in any contract farming. They're not interested in the agriculture sector. Adanis have also said they don't do anything else except making godowns, which the FCI leases from them. So, what is this obsession that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has with the Ambanis and the Adanis?
Personally, I have no issues with either Mr. Ambani or Mr. Adani being in business or being entrepreneurs. But I'm surprised, Navika ma'am, that a senior journalist like you is out here to defend the bosses of Prime Minister Narendra Modi over 60 lives that we have lost. 60 goddamn lives of fellow Indian citizens who are being called Naxalites, terrorists, criminals. Why are they wearing jeans? Why are they eating pizza?
Navika,
why are they?
They are not goddamn lives. Please don't use the word goddamn life.
I'm sorry.
Please,
I will.
You're a bright human being.
I will not have you interrupt me, Suhel. Please, I request you.
Lives.
But no, I'm not speaking. You are interrupting me, Suhel. Okay, let's put the cake where your mouth is. Tell me the three farm bills. Tell me the three farm bills. Come on, I defy you. Tell me the three farm bills.
That question has been asked. Tell me the three farm bills. All Congress supporters. The question that I asked you, was, what is the problem with Rahul Gandhi that he abuses the Adanis and the Ambanis every morning? That you said you have no problem with them. So that answers the question. Problem wo nahi hai. On the other hand, when you're talking about lives of farmers lost, that the government is doing, and the Prime Minister has set up a team. There is a meeting that was held yesterday. There is a meeting that is happening on the 8th, and it is the eighth round of talks with the farmers. So the government is trying to settle the issue. It's not as if Mr. Rahul Gandhi has cancelled his trip to Milan or wherever else. He's gone from there and come back to resolve this problem or sit with the farmers. Let's not try and show as if his heart beats for the farmers and Modi, the Prime Minister's heart doesn't beat for the farmers. So he'll say, is the Congress only diverting issues? And that's the question I want to ask you.
I beg your pardon, I couldn't hear you.
I said, is Mr. Rahul Gandhi only diverting the real issue? Because the real issue is they also recommended the same reforms.
See, I have three quick points to make. Number one, Mr. Gandhi can say what he likes. He's a leader. He's a political person. He has to say what he has to say. I only need to measure 2 or 3 things against what he says. Number one, you can't keep crying wolf and deflecting the core issue. What is the core issue? The core issue is farmers are protesting. Do they have a right to protest? Of course they do. Have 60 precious lives been lost? They have. The government needs to step in. Perhaps the government does and government must, and government is making an attempt. My personal view here is that you cannot always fire off someone else's shoulder. To say that all ills of India begin and end at the doorstep of corporate India is a travesty. Tehseen Poonawalla will also agree with me that industry does a lot of good. Does it do bad? Perhaps, but it does a lot of good. Number one. Number two, to damage 1,500 telecom towers is not about attacking one company. It's about derailing, disrupting economic progress of a particular state, in this case, the state being Punjab. You're preventing children from their online education. You are preventing people from availing digital commerce. The most important thing is we are also endangering not only our precious farmers' lives, including the lives of those paramilitary forces which are constantly at various borders, either stopping them or guarding them or helping them or whatever. We are in the middle of a raging pandemic. So am I saying that a solution needs to be found? Yes. But by constantly deflecting and saying that, two corporations or one corporation is responsible, to my mind, is a pernicious argument. It's a dangerous argument. Because then what you're doing is you're inciting people to disbelieve industry, which in itself is a bad thing. Now take Reliance, for instance.
Tehseen, very cogent and sensible points put by Suhel Seth. Can you respond?
Sorry.
Can you respond? In times of pandemic, you think people of Punjab, where there is a Congress government, are benefiting from the destruction of telecom towers? You know, where is the question of incitement of people to damage these telecom towers? Who is it going to impact? Common citizens of Punjab who have voted for the Congress party.
You're absolutely right that the telecom towers should not be damaged. I have two quick points and very brief points. How do you know for sure that these telecom towers are demolished by the protesters and not by supporters of Prime Minister Modi to give this protest a bad name? And I'm glad that you're worried about telecom towers. So am I. But what about my 60 farmers who've been martyred? Why aren't we discussing them? They've been called terrorists.
Nupur Sharma, respond to Tehseen Poonawalla.
I agree with you.
What kind of language is used by the
I agree with you. Listen, it's not what about. You're right.
Yes.
If you discuss the 60 farmers and the martyrdom and the deaths, which are unfortunate, inexplicable, you must not equate the two. I completely agree. But having said that, please remember one thing, Tehseen, and this is for all of us Indians to remember. As much as we venerate, respect, love, and adore our farmers, as we should, the common man's right to life, right to work, right to dignity also exists.
Absolutely. Nupur Sharma, respond. I'm running out of time, Suhel. Nupur Sharma.
Please. You know, it's very interesting. Ambani Adani ka raag karne wale usually never take the name of PepsiCo and Nestle. After all, they are the ones, the Congress party government, which allowed them in agro-based processing. Secondly, you know, on other debates, Tehseen usually is chest beating. Congress, MNC like kiya. How can we actually forget the most poorest damad of this country, who miraculously would get some land owned by the government and miraculously would change the land use permit and sell it to a conglomerate itself to construct houses and malls? I'm sorry, was that not a private company itself, a corporate itself? That's the actual hypocrisy here. And secondly, you know, Tehseen, if you feel, Tehseen, allow me to rebut. I've been quiet all this while. If you personally
I'd like to respond
feel
to that.
It's some plant,
Please,
some plant in Punjab. It's some plant in Punjab by Modi government. अरे सरकार आपकी है, law and order आपका है. कर दो investigation, expose करो. I find this hypocrisy hilarious.
Very correct. If it is Modi supporters who want to give the farmer protests a bad name and they are destroying the telecom towers in Punjab, then why does the Punjab government not find out who has done this? Because law and order in the state belongs to the Congress party. So is Mr. Rahul Gandhi completely misplaced in his priorities to attack industries, because he, on the one hand, claims that there is unemployment in the country and on the other hand actually is bringing down industry, giving it a bad name? What does Mr. Rahul Gandhi want? Is he going to decide that sitting in capitalist Western world, or will he come back to India to look at India's real problems? That's the big question. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on this debate. Thank you and good night. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.